All right, today we're doing Step Up to Grade 6, Lesson 3, Rational Numbers on the Coordinate Plane. So we are going to be looking at the 4-quadrant grid as opposed to the 1 quadrant. So we're going to notice that we're used to working in Quadrant 2, or actually Quadrant 1, sorry about that, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So get my pen going here and pick a good funky color. So this is called Quadrant 1, Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, and Roman numeral 4. Quadrant 1 is the quadrant you're used to working in. That includes positive numbers. So we would see it like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. All positive integers. So what we're going to be looking at today is the 4 quadrants, which includes negative integers as well. So a grid map of Washington, D.C. is shown below. Kayla wants to visit the White House and the FBI building. What ordered pairs represent these two locations? Solve the problem any way you choose. So we're going to be looking at some color here. We want to go to the White House. It's right there. And we want to go to the FBI building, which is over here. So that both those values are sitting in our Quadrant 1, which is what you're used to using in the lower grades. It is the positive quadrant. So the White House, we're going to start at 0, go over 2. So the White House is at 2, comma, and then we're going to go up 3. And the FBI building, we're going to start at 0. We're going to go over 8. And we're going to go up 1. Remember, we go over and then we go up. Over and then up. So those are positive. If you're looking at the Lincoln Memorial, you're going to start at 0. You're going to go over to -5 on the x-axis. Remember, they're labeled x and y. And then you're going to go down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, down 3. And you can see down 3 over 5. So that's a negative. So quadrant 1 is going to be positive. Quadrant 2, your x value is going to be negative and your y value will be positive. Quadrant 3, you're going to have a negative number and a negative number. And quadrant 4, you're going to have a positive x value and a negative y value. So let's move ahead and see what we're going to do here. Graphing the points 2, comma, -3, and r at -1, +1, and s at 0, 2 on a coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is a grid containing two number lines that intersect at a right angle at 0. The number lines called the x and y axis divide the plane into 4 quadrants. Graphing points on a coordinate plane, you're using your ordered pair, and that gives the coordinates. Graph any points. We start at the origin. Now this is where we're going to use the x coordinate to move to the right if it's positive. So if your first number is a positive number, you're going to go in that direction. If your first number is a negative number, you're going to go in that direction on the x-axis. And the same goes for y. If the y is positive, you're going up. And if the y is negative, you're going down. So Kayla says that let's get this cleared here. And mouse. Kayla says that the Lincoln Memorial is located at -3, -5 on the grid map of DC. Do you agree or disagree? So -3, -5. If we go back, let's look for that. -3 would be over here. Starting at 0, we would go -3. And then -5 would be way down here. So that's where our spot would be. So we're going to say no on that. And let me move up next page again. Sorry about that. So we're going to say no. So it looks like Kayla didn't plot her coordinates right. So, and the correct ordered pair would be -5, -3. Go back. So -5, -3. She said negative, what did she say? She said -3, -5. So she reversed her coordinates, which, that's a common mistake. Be careful for it. Remember, the first coordinate is the x coordinate. The second coordinate is the y. Moving on. In what quadrant does a point lie if both the coordinates are negative? So if, remember, both are negative, we're labeling our quadrants. We start 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we've got a negative and a negative, we're going to be down here. So we'll say that's quadrant 3. 1, 2, 3. Do 4, 5 and 5, 4 have the same point? Duh, no. And we know that because of our unit on coordinate grid, because 4, 5 is 4 on the x-axis, 5 on the y-axis, and 5, 4 is 5 on the x-axis, 4 on the y-axis. So we're going to graph some points here. I'm going to grab a couple of these to graph. Let's take number 6, +1, -1. So x-axis starting at 0, +1 is going to take me right there, and -1 is going to take me down 1. So there we are, right there. And that would be point A. B, you guys can do that. We've already done those. How about 8 is -3. So for 8, we're going to start at 0. We're going to go -3, and then we're going to go +2. So here would be C. And these are annoying. The halves and the quarters, you just kind of wiggle them in between. So for that one, we'd have -4.5. So we know our intervals, we're counting by 1, but they're not labeling 1. So 5 would be right next to 4. So -4.5 would be between -4 and -5. So that would be like kind of in the middle there. -4.5 and -4 puts it right about here. So that would be E, and so on. And when we come down to the bottom, we're going to name the points. So let's look at point P is the first one they have for number 14. P, I can see it right here. Starting at 0, I'm going to go over 8, and it's a -8. And I'm going to go up 3. So it's +3. So -8, +3. Make sure you have your parentheses on there. And let's check out number 15 is Q. So for Q, I'm starting at 0. I'm going to go over +5. And then I'm going to go down -5. And make sure you write your parentheses. And we'll work on some of the problem solving together.